Hi everybody and welcome back to another episode on Troubles Restoration Back to the Road. In this video we're going to be removing the sound deadening and kind of like insulation that's in her engine bay now that the engine has been removed, and my mum, she's going to be under the front left wheel arch removing some of the kind of I think it's like bitumen kind of anti-stone chip type stuff now that again quite a lot of the stuff under the wheel arch has been removed. It's not a particularly fun job doing this, but it does have to be done, so let's get into it. No one seemed to comment about having the spoken intro back, so I've also binned it in this episode. To summarise what I'm saying here, I'm going to be removing the sound deadening from the engine bay, and my mum, she's going to be removing all of the old anti-stone chip from the left wheel arch. Before I start scraping the engine bay, I'm first going to remove some small fixings on the back end of Trouble. So first thing we're going to do is take off this reversing light, and that's held in place with two screws which are screwed into some really solid steel, as you can see. It's a nice screw. Yeah, nice. What's that? Oh. That's the remnants of my reversing lamp lens. Okay, and now I just need flathead, and then that should come out. This guy out. That's nice, that wasn't tight. Probably because it's not screwed into anything. This. God. Okay. How do I undo this? This goes under here into, there's a loom. Oh, it's quite a chunky loom. Okay, so this must come out of here. Here we go. Oh yeah, we got some bullets. Don't want to come out. I'm going to reuse this, but I'll just take him out. Oh shit. I don't know what that was, but it was somewhere.
You can see where it is in there.
It's out. Now this bit should just slide out there. Beautiful. So we just got a scraper. We're just going to take out some of this old. There's just so much like mud, road grime. So actually, it is just surface rust.
It's bizarre, isn't it, how that survives, but this doesn't. I think you might need a new seal.
There you go. Look at that. I'll brick blast it, and then I will paint it, and it will look new. This, however, might not look like new. There's quite a few bits missing. Oh, look, there was a stamp. 25 watts. 25 watt light bulb.
Yeah,
wow.
It's quite bright. Oh, it's only 6 volts, isn't it?
I might be able to. Maybe, I don't know. We might be able to use it. Who knows? As I said, while my dad and I are going to be removing the engine bay sound deadening, my mum, she's going to be removing the treacle from under the front right wheel arch. This is what she's starting with. It doesn't look too pretty. Look at that. It's in a bit of a way up here. It's best just to do this with a blindfold on. But yeah, so we've done a bit up here, as you can see, because we had to get a fixing that was up there. And then I had a poke around and I put that scar in there. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing, taking all of this off. It's pretty gross. Here's Chief Scraper. It's getting quite cold in the garage, isn't it?
It's very cold. And the paint's gone brittle.
This is what me and my dad are going to be removing. It's a type of sound deadening damping mat to try and, I guess, insulate some of the engine noise from inside the car. The mat lines the whole engine bay and it is both glued and screwed in place. And it's actually fixed as well as glued in some places with some small little fastenings all around the edge. I think that is the last one. We then have the boot or the engine lid latch fixed with, I think, is it 4 bolts, maybe 3 on there and 2 on that side. And then again we have some more screws here, here, here and here. What I'm now going to do is remove those screws. Straight in the cataloguing system. Any more for any more. I'm not going to reduce.
Can we try and use hot air guns just to see what happens? Is it worth it?
It just stings, doesn't it? With the small screws undone, I then started on the engine lid latch. The workshop manual does have a process for this, but I decided to create my own. One common question that's often asked is how you remove the engine lids, the catch for the engine lid. So I'm just going to quickly do a how-to video on how you remove this. First step, as you can see, what I've done is I've undone the engine hood and I've removed it. I've taken that off, get it all out of the way so the lid's gone. The next thing you're going to want to do in the process is quite easy, 3-step process. Step 1, remove lid. Step 2, take the engine out. That's what you're gonna have to do, just remove the engine. And once you've done that, you see what you'll be able to do is get in here, and that gives you really good access. See, I've got loads of room for my elbow. Get my ratchet and sockets on, an extension, get under here, make sure this is going the right way, and now I should be able to slowly undo these. God, these are long. There's one of them. These are quite stiff. It. This one won't be in the same way.
Straight off. It's alright, just draw them out.
Okay, well that's how you remove your engine lid latch, sorry. You, number 1, take off the engine lid. Number 2, drop your engine. Number 3, undo one of the bolts. And then number 4, just snap the other 2 off, because it's faster that way. There I was, trying to be funny, and it bit me in the bum. Oh well, I'll drill and re-tap those holes for some nice new shiny bolts at some point. The last thing my dad and I needed to remove before we could start removing the engine insulation is the loom. This is just held in place with some very technical loom clips. Can you feel your hands?
Just. It's rather cold.
You might be able to see my breath, hang on. Hey. we're doing, we're just getting the screwdriver behind them. Well, the Royal We. The Royal We's getting the screwdriver behind the open end of the clip and just prising it open. Just releasing the loom. Cool. That's it. So these are my mum's tools of choice, as you can see. She's got a catalogue of them. Very similar to when you go to the dentist, actually.
The best one's not
Just lots
here.
of scrapers.
I think someone's stolen it.
Best one's not there.
No, someone's stolen it.
So are you in your favourite hat?
Yes.
It is. So this is progress. Oh my Jesus, look at that. We're basically back to still. Look at this. Look, that's been hot at some point. You can see the colour. Wow. That's cool. Making good progress up there.
There's a little bit of hole here.
Hole there. Bit of hole there.
Oh.
Also great there. Nice one. Keep at it. You might get dinner tonight. With everything now cleared out of the engine bay, my dad and I finally got started on our bit of the sound deadening. I'm not sure what glue they used to stick this on, but they definitely don't make glue like they used to. We persevered with our scrapers and made pretty good progress with getting the mat off. Unfortunately, not in one piece though. There is zero chance I can reuse it. Once the mat was released from the metal, we then had to scrape what was left behind to get the panels back to bare metal. Scraping this engine bay took quite some time. This is a great camera angle of my head. While looking at the back of my head and getting the odd glimpse of the progress I was making, I'm going to justify my reasoning of scraping this mat off. I did have a few recommendations to either use a hot air gun, dry ice, a flap disc, or use solvents to help take this mat off. I looked into these and actually attempted to use a hot air gun, but quickly went back to the scraper. For anyone else looking to remove similar mattings or coatings, using a hot air gun stinks, like really smells. Dry ice, it's a nice idea, but expensive as it requires some pretty industrial kit. A flap disc is just very dusty. Solvents, they work, but aren't practical on vertical surfaces. I found the scraper to work best for me. Yes, it does require some effort, but it is efficient and you can just sweep up after yourself. So this is where we've got to with scraping. So that's the inner rear wing. I've only removed the dynamat. It's not dynamat, but ancient equivalent. This is the rear bulkhead, look. Basically, back to bright metal. Look at that. Whoosh. Oh, except for my dad's side. Dad's side not so great there, look. He missed a bit. Well, his inner rear wing is looking all caught up on something significantly shinier than mine. We've both.
If you look here, look here. This has got. Well, this is.
Weird mat.
There's like, look, there's a filler piece of foam.
Nice wood foam.
Stuck down the corner, look.
But yeah, we've both got. If anyone knows, we've both got this like bubble gum spray. It's like anti-stone.
Well, it's
chip.
like stone chip, but it's anti-vibration, and then it's
all along here too.
That's what's on here, look, under the glue, and then this strange coloured paint, which isn't pink. Oh look! Mouse droppings.
Oh yeah, look.
Hundreds of them. Look.
Some mouse droppings. Nice. What's going on down here? Have you earned your dinner yet?
Could you give me that scraper back you just stolen? Thank you.
Right, here we go.
I had to put
This is where my mum's got to. Look at this.
my.
Look at this. Oosh. Someone has not been slacking. Look at all these spot welds. Just hundreds of them. It's looking good. I then took the voltage regulator off to get better access to the back wall of the engine bay. It's always so satisfying when a fixing undoes with a crack. It makes me feel like it's never been undone before and I'm the first to touch it. I find it strangely sentimental. Once the regulator was off, I cracked on with scraping the back wall. To save some iCloud storage for everyone else, I didn't film it. But here we are. I'm scraping. There's a lot down there. The engine bay doesn't look too bad, right? As I mentioned, it wasn't a particularly fun job doing all that scraping and scratching, but unfortunately it is just one of the jobs that has to be done when restoring a car if you're going to be taking it right back to bare metal and not putting it through an acid dip. The reason why is because that kind of material, it's quite rubbery and elastic, so when you're shot blasting it, the shot blast doesn't touch it. It just like bounces off, so you have to remove it. Again, as I said, you don't have to if acid dipping, but I didn't want to acid dip trouble. That's a conversation for another time. Get in the comments if you like about pros and cons of acid dipping and shot blasting. Let's see what everyone has to say. But anyway, I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you'd like to continue watching Trouble's journey back to the road, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks everyone.